Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Altitude Sickness Podcast. I am Tony, and I am being joined by Drew today. How are we doing?
Good. Rockies just swept the Mets. We're feeling good. Rockies are 13-16, which is the fastest they've gotten to 13 wins since I've been a fan. So I'm peaking at the moment. Hopefully more
Yeah,
to come, but they face the Reds this week, which is going to be tough. That's going to be a challenge for them, but we'll see how that goes.
yeah. They face both the Reds during the week, and then the weekend series is against the Braves. So that right now, besides the Dodgers and Padres, is probably going to be the biggest test that they will face because the Braves are currently probably the best team in baseball. They have the best record as of the taping of this recording, and so that'll be a big one. Uh, and that's going to be at home too, so it'll be a big test for them to hold firm at home, whatever
Yeah.
type of thing.
They swept the poor Mets,
Yeah,
but this is we're gonna see what the team's made of this year
yeah,
in this week for sure.
for sure. I would agree with that. I think that that's going to be a much bigger test because, like you said, the Mets are kind of just they're like off the rails right now. Everything's spiraling for them. So we just caught them at a good time. And in all fairness, the Rockies had pretty good pitching. Like their pitching was pretty good. Offense left a little bit to be desired, but it did enough. Um, but first off, we have to unfortunately talk about the not as fun series that happened last week, which was the Rockies lost the series 2-1 to the San Diego Padres at home. A pretty, I would say, probably the most of so far this year. Probably the most frustrating series I think you could say watching the Rockies, and the only other one I would argue is probably the other Padres series.
Yeah.
Um, and not just because we here at Altitude Sickness hate the Padres because I hate them or we hate them, but also because this last series against them, both games that they lost were very very winnable games. They lost 1-0 on the Tuesday night game last week, which a 1-0 game at Coors Field. It's only happened like 13 times ever or something, and you just cannot be shut out at home. Not at Coors Field. You just cannot be shut out. And then the loss on Thursday was a day game, just an absolute gut wrenching. They were up, what was it, 8-5?
Eight
I
to
think
five.
8-5 going into the ninth inning. Victor Vodnik just had to get 3 outs, and I don't think he even recorded an out in the ninth inning and allowed 5 earned runs. And it was just honestly off from the first batter of the inning. Like it was just like he did not have command at all, and he got derailed very fast, and it really put a damper on what was overall, other than that one half inning, a great day for the Rockies because
Beautiful.
their offense scored 8 runs. Moniak had 2 home runs. It was a fun day, and that just really put a damper on it. So a brutal series to lose because you just one run is just really unfortunate way to lose in that first game, and they did win the second game. They won 8-3. Sagano pitched very well. Um, I believe. I believe that that's the first time he has pitched and not allowed a solo home run. So, good job for him. Um, but overall, other than that, like I think the offense was just kind of clicking pretty solidly. Yeah, Moniak had 2 hits, Goodman had 3 hits, and T.J. Rumfield had two hits. Oh, so did Castro and McCarthy. So like everyone was hitting. Like it was just a good overall day for the Rockies there. But it just gets soured by the bookends of that series,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
mean, the Rockies were the better team in that series for the great majority of innings played.
Hmm.
The first game is so frustrating because the Padres didn't even earn it. They didn't earn the run.
Yeah.
It was walked in, which is a Rockies classic that I hate seeing
Hmm.
because I would rather Dollander throw a fastball down the middle and make sure it's a strike than give up a walk.
Yeah.
So it was extremely frustrating, especially because they got swept by the Padres before,
Hmm.
and this was turning it around, making the season series look a little better. In the last game with Victor Vodnik, you can tell within the first 2 pitches of what what kind of day it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's the really unfortunate part, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, you can tell from the first 2 pitches of his appearance what that's going to look like. But overall, with context, the Rockies are still playing really well, so I can't be that upset.
Yeah.
Ever since Jake McCarthy got taken out of the leadoff spot and thrown in towards the end of the lineup, he's actually performed really well.
I was actually going to make note of that I know that we have done our, and in all fairness, I think a lot of it is warranted because he has not played very well for a lot of the year, especially near the beginning. But ever since he didn't have to have the pressure of being that leadoff guy, he has played much better. I'm
going to take 260 something now.
I'm taking a look. I didn't have it.
He was below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, so he's now hitting 264 with a 724 OPS. So like that's a solid hitter. Like I'm taking that, especially from Jake McCarthy, who's not going to provide you with like power at all. Like he's not a power guy. And so like I'm absolutely taking that from him right now, and he's playing like adequate defense as well, and he's also super fast. He has 5 stolen bases, and I don't know if that leads the Rockies, but
second.
Is it second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who's first, but I know it's second.
It might be Doyle. I don't know for sure. I don't know. Doing a real quick check. Brenton Doyle has 6. So, but Jake McCarthy having 5, like absolutely awesome. And like you said, like since he got taken out of that leadoff spot, he's been doing pretty well. And it's honestly, for the guy that took over that leadoff spot, it's been the opposite too. I don't remember, like if you don't remember, like
he was terrible.
Edward Julian, I think he had 1 hit in the first 7 games of the season, and then he has now hit over 300, I think, since those 7 games. At this point, he is hitting uno momento. I'm trying to pull it up. He is now hitting 284 with a 761 OPS. His WAR is getting knocked down to a minus 0.3 because his defense is just horrendous at second base.
Yeah.
But I don't really, to me, the way I look at it, yes, I get it that WAR is the all-encompassing tool, that like number that you want to use. Defensive metrics, especially at second, doesn't matter to me that much because second base is like the 3rd least important position on the field other than first base and right field. When it comes to WAR, that's how it's usually grouped in. And so that doesn't really like affect me too much. Like we need him to hit. Like that's his thing. Is he walks because right now he has a 369 on base percentage, which I believe is leading the Rockies. I'd be shocked if it was not. Of qualified hitters, he's second to Troy Johnston, who has a 371, but that's also because he's hitting 315. So,
yeah, the Rockies for so long have been defense first, offense later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to trade that in at this point for what Julian's doing.
Because that's the thing. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but the guy that he's, opposite side of it with the shortstop of Ezequiel Tovar, he right now is the complete opposite, where he's giving you better defense, but nothing with the bat. So,
but not a bad series.
No. Like, that's like I said, like, that's one that, like, it's really frustrating, like, in the moment. I know we were, like, watching that last game, and it was unbelievable, just the gut-wrenching feeling of what's the term? It's clenching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what the Rockies did there. Like they had it in their hand. All they had to do was not mess up, and unfortunately, Victor Vodnik did that. And so, but overall, again, like they played the Padres 3 games well. Like. You take out that 1 inning, and yes, the 1-0 kind of stinks, but at the same time, you held the Padres offense to 1 run that, again, was a walked, bases loaded situation. So, like, it's kind of just tough.
They've played the Padres well all season, except for, like, 1 game.
Yeah.
So, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. And then the more fun series that we got to have during the weekend was the Mets series. And so on Friday, they won 4-3. It was a little close in the end. Some Jaden Hill walks at some point kind of made it a little close for comfort. because the Mets scored two runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. I don't know if that was off of Jaden Hill. I don't remember who that was off of. It was off Jaden Hill. Yeah, Jaden Hill made it a little bit closer. But we got a great start from Michael Lorenzen. 7 innings of 1 run. So that was absolutely needed for the bullpen. Like, they needed that especially. So that was a great job by Lorenzen. And then Senzatella shut it down after Jaden Hill could only record 1 out and allowed 2 runs. Senzatella came in and pitched 1 2/3 innings, did not allow a run, as he's been doing all season long. And he's just been absolutely dominant. And so that was a great gutsy win. I want to see who did the offense for that game. Troy Johnston went 1 for 5, but he had 2 RBIs. Jake McCarthy had an RBI, went 1 for 3, and then TJ Rumfield. So all 3 new guys here. So this was all new guys doing the lifting here, and so I mean that's just what you love to see. So, but yeah, that was that first game, and then Saturday. It was supposed to be like I don't even know, like an early game on Saturday too. It was supposed to be like a 3 p.m., like one of those weird Saturday afternoon games, and it got canceled at like 6:30 in the morning here at like 6:30 Central Time, because the rain apparently was so bad, and so that just meant doubleheader on Sunday, which are always going to be harder. They're just going to be a little harder on the bullpen because you never know how it's going to go. But But like I said, the Rockies they managed to sweep that doubleheader and therefore sweep the series, winning 3-1 and then 3-0, blanking them in the last game. That first game, pulling up now, it was Jose Quintana's turn to do very well. He went 5 1/3, only allowing 1 run with 5 strikeouts. A very good job. Juan Mejia came in 1 2/3 innings, did not allow anything. Jaden Hill redeemed himself a bit, going an inning and striking out 1, not allowing any runs. And then Victor Vodnik got his mojo back a tiny bit, got hopefully that confidence back, and got the save there. So that was good for him, with striking out 2 guys as well. He looked like the good version of Vodnik, like he was Peyton. It was absolutely awesome.
He was confident through his whole outing, and it showed pretty early. So yeah, it was a good bounce back.
Yep. And then the next game, 3-0 was the final. This one featured a Hunter Goodman 2-run home run, which was cool. Only home run of that series for the Rockies. And then a Troy Johnson RBI single with the bases loaded. And that's going to be another thing, though, is that the Rockies in this game only struck out 9 times, but it felt like they struck out in really big key situations, as well as grounding into a few double plays in really bad situations. There were multiple times that it felt like the Rockies, I think, had the bases loaded with either no outs or 1 out, and they only got 1 run of those 2 situations. I know one of them was a Kyle Caro strikeout, and then a TJ Rumfield like grounded a double play or something that just killed all the momentum. But luckily, they got an absolute gem on the mound from Chase Dollander. He pitched 7 innings, no runs, with 7 strikeouts. He was absolutely dominant. It was awesome to see. He pitched 105 pitches. I believe that was the most pitches he's thrown in a game, and I think that was the longest career outing so far for Chase Dollander, which he got the start for also. He was not an opener this time, or did not have an opener this time, or didn't come in later. He actually got the start because at this point, Jimmy Herget went on the paternity leave, and they didn't have him, and he's normally been that starter for Chase Dollander, and so he didn't have that ability. So he was just, I think Warren Schaefer was like, all right, this is your chance. Let's get you a start and do that. And he thrived in it, honestly. And then Halverson, who just got called up, pitched a scoreless inning. And then Zach Agnos got the save on that last one. And so the Rockies ended up sweeping the Mets. And it was honestly just an overall fun series. And I'm very happy with obviously the end result.
Yeah. Dollander didn't change his routine at all either, which was interesting. He still entered the game in the bottom of the first
from the bullpen. Yeah, bottom of the first
from the bullpen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry. So that was cool to see. And what's really interesting, and of course, his worst inning was that first inning.
Yeah,
it got spooky. They got real spooky.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it was smooth sailing. I mean, maybe this is the guy that we've been waiting to see.
Yeah.
But if he stays on this course all season, the Rockies need to extend it. I have no question about it.
Yeah.
I know that's an aggressive take.
How
often are the Rockies able to lock up a pitcher?
That's the big thing, is that I think a lot of people are just scared with it just because it's a pitcher for the Rockies, which is just going to be a scary thing. Like, there's so much volatility, but that, like, it really is, and this is, I don't even mean this to just sound so cliche, because it really just sounds, that is the Rockies people are thinking of old. Like, this is clearly a completely new front office thinking, like, coaching regime and everything that... Yeah. And it's already, we can see the dividends that it's paying. I mean, Dollander was awful last year. Senzatella was awful last year.
Probably the worst starter in the MLB last year.
I think he was statistically the worst starter by far. And they are now not just, like, mid. They are now, like, thriving and are good. Like, Senzatella is
in the elite category.
He is arguably one of the best relievers so far in the sport right now. I think he has a .5 ERA in over 15 innings of work as a reliever, as a bulk reliever, which is absolutely insane. And I'm currently looking at Chase Dollander's Savant page, because this is where you can look at stuff to really see the under the hood numbers and stuff. I mean, he's 92nd in pitching run value in general. He's 99th in fastball run value, which is just a value just showing how good the pitch is. And then he is 86th percentile in breaking ball value. So he's throwing the fastball harder than he ever had. He's throwing it harder than he was last year, which is kind of crazy. He's striking out. He has a 30% strikeout rate, which is absolutely insane. He has a 6.9% walk rate, which is in the 73rd percentile. He's getting a lot of ground balls. I guess the only thing that's scary is that he's getting, like, hit hard, but when you throw as hard as that, yeah, that's kind of how it's going to go. And that's why you complement that usually with a good defense. And if you have a good ground ball percentage as well, that's going to just even out a little bit. And a big thing for him has just been that his pitch usage has been completely different. I mean, last year he was pitching almost 50% four-seam fastball, and this year he has cut it down to 38%, which is a huge cut. And then he's using his sinker way more, which is just helping alleviate and get more of those ground balls. He's just been honestly so much fun to watch. I am so happy with what this front office and the pitching staff, coaching staff is doing with him, and it's just been really awesome. Yeah.
Leishman gets all the flowers in the world,
yes,
even so early. Because you got to think, this new group was brought in was it January?
It was, I think.
Was it earlier?
It would have been earlier because...
I don't think Leishman got hired until the new year.
He may not have been, but...
Regardless, he has had less than half a year to figure out these pitchers that clearly no one in the Rockies organization could figure out beforehand.
Yeah.
And he's already turned things around. And a couple things on Chase. Last year, his big struggle was in Coors.
Yes.
He's learned how to pitch in Coors.
Yeah.
And he's also killing it on the road. And his fastball, we talked about last year, his command with his fastball, it was either 10 feet out of the zone or it was down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would get shelled, which he did all year. But now, as of now, there are only two pitchers in the MLB who have a lower batting average against his fastball. And those two people are Shohei and Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
So isn't that a crazy stat? So just the pitching coaches have really turned him around, and I think the Rockies have control over him for a while.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, he's probably not a free agent until
33, 32.
It's probably 32 or 33. Like, it's a while.
So, I think if he stays on this trajectory throughout the season, I think the Rockies do need to just bet on him because, again, it's hard to find starting pitching that'll come to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple guys who have recently, which is crazy, but to find elite pitching and a homegrown talent to stay, he could be the next Kyle Freeland.
Yeah,
he really could.
I agree,
but much better.
That's the thing is, I think people compare him a lot more to Ubaldo because Ubaldo had more strikeout stuff than Freeland did. And so I think that that's like a big, like, he has the stuff in the making to be like the best pitcher in Rockies history. He's just gotta, and obviously this is so early.
That's a low bar.
The
best pitcher in Rockies history is a low bar.
I understand that it's a low bar, and also again, this is not even 2 years into his major league career. But like, it's just been really fun to watch him pitch so well. And to your point, like you said, at home, pitching so well at home, he has a 1.74 ERA at home in 10 innings of work, which, you know, not a lot, but still, that's still really good. And even on the road, it's a 2.49. Like, that's insane.
And the Rockies have the hardest schedule so far.
Yeah.
Out of anyone in the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 13-16.
Yeah.
Like, this is about as good as we could really ask for. And you think about all those one-run games, which I think the Rockies have been in 9 so far this season.
9. Yeah.
Losing most of them. So,
yeah.
I mean, we're in a really good spot.
Oh.
Dollander's great.
They've had 10 one-run games. I've looked. They've had 10 one-run games, and they are 4-6 in them. Which, you know.
Okay, I guess that's
not as bad as I thought, honestly.
No,
it feels like way worse. It feels like they've lost every close game.
The worst one.
Yeah, that's the thing. You remember the losses, not the wins. I guess they did win one against the Mets the first game.
The Mets.
I guess that's there.
So with them sweeping the Mets,
they just got swept by the fucking Rockies.
Yeah, it was a good series. I just wanted to play that.
Yeah. So really quick, I don't know if you have the numbers. I know we were talking about what would we consider as a successful April, and I said 6. I think we were like 7 or more or whatever. That's a dub. What do you think their record is right now in April?
They've had what, 12 wins?
They have had
They won 1.
They've had 24 games, so they are 12-12. They're playing 500 against the caliber of teams that they like. There's a chance, like, the Reds are playing pretty well right now, but if, knock on wood, the Rockies can find a way to scratch out those wins, and if they could win that series, they would have gone above 500 in April, which is
I've never seen them go above 500 in a month. I've barely seen them go above 500 in a week.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Like, this April was actually the April from hell. Like, I don't know what the schedule makers were doing with this. Like, it was insane putting that against what the Rockies, like, what they are. But the fact that they have a legitimate chance to go above 500 in this month, it shows, it's a testament to how this is just a completely different team. And I see a lot of people, I know the whole, the Frank the Tank thing where it's like, oh, we just lost to the Rockies, we are so bad. And I get that. But I think it is, and as we'll talk about later, it is lazy to just say the Rockies are so bad and they are the same team as last year. Yes, they did not sign big free agents on the offseason because why it wouldn't have done that much. But like, it is so clear that this is a completely different team than last year. Like, it makes me not want to, figuratively, blow my brains out watching this team because like last year at this time, I don't remember what it was, but I think they had 4 wins. I think they were like 4-28 like on this day last year.
13. When they got to 13 wins, I'm fairly certain they were at 60 losses.
It was in June was when they got their 13th win, was in June, and it is currently, when they got it was April 26th. So that's a month and a half, almost 2 months before. It's honestly just awesome. They're currently on pace, I think, for 70 wins, which is crazy. If they won 70 games, that would be 29 games improved. That would be a 29 game improvement.
I think that would be up there with the differential with the Royals.
Yeah.
In 23
to 24. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that is the record. I don't know what the record is between like seasons. I might have to look into that. I might like bring that up like next weekend or next week for the pod. But like, it's just crazy, the turnaround, and it's honestly just makes me like, you could see the difference. Like, if we were doing this podcast last year, I don't know how far we would have gotten if I'm being honest.
We would be like you know who.
Yes, it would be very brutal, and respect to anyone that actually had to do podcasts last year during that rough series of just everything. So, but yeah, it's just been honestly a lot of fun to watch, and even the losses, they hurt, but it's because at this point, like we are in these games, and like when you're a better team, then you're going to suffer more at those losses, like at the hands of those losses, because they're going to hurt more, because it's like, oh, we should have won that game. So, but that's where we're at. And yeah, it's just been, it was a good overall week. Rockies went above 500 in the week. Went 4-3 or 4-2. Woo. So, pretty cool, pretty good stuff. And so, getting in a little more, I know I touched on this a second ago, or a little bit ago. So, with all this good stuff, good offensive players coming out and doing all their things, there's a few guys that are clearly lacking. You could point to, we talked a lot about Jordan Beck, how he's lost his starting spot. And we talked a lot about Bretton Doyle still kind of struggling, trying to find his footing and stuff. Like, the one that scares, I think, me the most right now is Ezequiel Tovar, because that, like, and I mean, I think we talked about this last week, and I've heard a lot of other Rockies podcasts talk about this. Like, his approach has just, it has not changed in 3 years of being in the major leagues. And I really hope that the coaching staff can start getting it in his head that, like, you need to understand what these pitchers are trying to do to you, and doing very successfully, and it's throwing the ball low and away, and you are going to wave at it every time, because that's just how it goes. Like, that's just where you're at right now.
Especially with 2 strikes, like, we predict it every time.
Yes.
It doesn't, even when it's a 3-2 count where a slider low and out 6 inches off the plate is a very risky pitch as a pitcher, especially against a guy who doesn't walk. Yet they still throw it every time. Yeah. And it works.
I'm looking at a pitch percentage of 2026 for Ezequiel Tovar. 28%. That is over a fourth are in the low and away, out of the strike zone. That is insane. and it's not good, because, like, I'm looking at swing percentage by zone. He swings a lot at low pitches. That's been his thing. Which, in all fairness, low and in and low and middle, he hits well. He does not hit low and away well. And so, swings by zone, it's not even close. Like, in terms of 2026 swings by zone, this is on Baseball Savant that I'm looking at this. He has, so for reference, low and in, he has swung at 12 pitches, I guess, or he has 12 swings in that zone. All right. He has 20 up and away, 15 and up and in. He has 61 low and away. That's more than all of the other zones outside of the strike zone combined. He is just on this crazy trek of just swinging at everything. And then on top of everything, what is really frustrating is in spring training, I specifically remember watching him take pitches like more. Like, he was actively not swinging at the first pitch of at-bats, because he was like, I'm going to not give them an easy out or an easy strike, like, of me swinging at not good pitches. And it seems like his entire approach that he had, like, in the World Baseball Classic or in spring training and everything, it's right now out of the window, because I think he's chasing a lot more results at this point, because he wants to break out of this funk. And I think hopefully this off day, he can really settle down with it, because he's got to figure something out, because it is just not, whatever he's doing right now is just not working.
And the Braves and the Reds both have good pitching, so
yes,
they're going to expose him if this stays the same, because even the Mets pitching has been, outside of McLean, has been abysmal this year.
Yeah.
And it just did not seem to make a difference for Tovar.
I said, I don't believe he did that great in this series.
He did.
Yeah, he currently has he has a 30% strikeout rate, with a 2.7% walk rate. That is just abysmal. When the MLB average is 8.4% walk rate. He's walking a fourth of the time, and he's striking out almost 50% more than the league.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it, 30% rate is, you get at least 3 at-bats, and he's not putting the ball in play, not moving runners, giving pitchers confidence all in one.
Yeah.
At least once a game.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just hoping that he can figure it out. Because the defense is fine. Like, he made a pretty good play yesterday in one of the games. He had a diving, arranging play. I think it was on Bo Bichette that he threw him out. It was a great play. And that's the thing, is that, like, as much as he's struggling on offense, it's good to see that he's not really carrying that so much to the defense. And that's he's just got to get out of it. And I have faith that he will. It's just, I hope that he can get out of it sooner rather than later, because I don't like watching Tovar not play well, because I love Tovar.
I mean, the Rockies have him for
a while.
8 or 9 years?
Not that long. I think his extension goes through 2028. So he's a free agent in 2029. Because it was
no way. I thought his deal was way long.
It was like a 6-year extension, but it was in 2024. Like began in like 2024, 2023.
I thought they signed him to a long deal.
No, it was not. It was not a crazy long deal. There was like, it's a 6-year with a 7th option or something like that. I don't know for sure. Are you looking it up? Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember what I want to say.
Okay, so he's good through 2031.
Oh, geez, so it is way longer than I thought. These years kind of just
signed in 24,
combine.
and it was a 7-year contract.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Chris Bryant's deal.
Yeah. No, Chris Bryant is done in 2028.
Oh,
and
man.
we need to have a party when that comes.
Oh, it'll be a glorious day.
We need to actually have a party at the very end of the 2027 season.
Yeah,
he is gone.
Yeah, it'll be a glorious day. Yeah.
Which I don't even want to bring up Chris Bryant anymore.
No, we're trying to keep these vibes. We're keeping these vibes happy here, other than Tovar, I guess. But
okay, now we can move on to the good stuff.
yeah. So I think another one, like in the same vein, in the same vein but opposite spectrum. Guys that are hitting super well. I mean, Goodman has really found his power stroke. He's striking out a lot, but he's getting results still. Like, he's hitting home runs. He's doing his thing. He currently has 7 home runs on the year. Hunter Goodman does. TJ Rumfield, after having a bit of a rough patch in the middle, once I think pitchers started figuring him out, he's come back and he's doing pretty solid. He's doing pretty well. Troy Johnston is honestly just a lot of fun to watch. I've had so much fun watching Troy Johnston play. And then Edouard Julien also, like we were talking about, he's not going to give you much in terms of power or anything really like that. But the thing with Edouard Julien is and he does strike out a decent amount, but every game he is going to strike out once and he's going to walk once. So it's what he's going to do in those other 2 to 3 at-bats. Because like that's what he does, is he walks like crazy. And it's really been awesome to watch. And it just makes me happy. So does TJ Rumfield too. He also walks a big amount, and it's good to see. But the guy that this big section is going to be about is none other than, it's Mickey Moniak. Like, he has been absolutely insane. He's been popping off, and it's been like nationally. I saw MLB posted something about him like 2 days ago about how well he's been doing this year. He currently is hitting 316 with a 353 on base percentage and a 684 slug for a 1.036 OPS. So one dotting it. I have not seen a Rocky one dotting it this late into a season since CJ Cron, which I miss CJ Cron. I think every single day that I watch the Rockies, I wish that dude like stayed longer, honestly, or just didn't get hit in the hand and just lose all power. But Mickey Moniak has been absolutely awesome to watch. He's got 8 home runs currently. He's leading the Rockies. 15 RBIs. He also has 5 doubles as well. He does strike out a decent amount, but like again, he's producing, and so that's the thing, is that if you're gonna balance out the strikeout, and even then it's at 23.5%, which is about league average. Like if you're gonna strike out at league average, but you're gonna slug like he is right now, then I'm totally fine with it. And it just makes me happy to see him just get back in the right footing after having a really rough time before he came to the Rockies. But a note, did you want to get into that note about him since June of last year, or do you?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so since June of 2025, Mickey Moniak is leading the entire MLB in slugging, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any Coors, Merchant, whatever, which I have heard from some people.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like they play half their games not in Coors.
Yeah.
And other players that are in the NL West play a lot of games in Coors throughout the year. So, yeah, I mean, it's insane. The Rockies really got a diamond in the rough who, up until last year, he was labeled a bust.
Yeah.
Up until last year. I mean, being the first overall pick in a draft, you're going to have super high expectations, and he has not lived up to that in his, 6 seasons before joining the Rockies?
Yeah.
6 seasons in the major leagues.
Yeah.
So he's been here a while, but it's super exciting. He's just such a fun player to watch. And you can tell by watching throughout the game that he's having so much fun along with the other guys.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see. And so with this, I do have a good question.
Yeah.
I don't even want to speak trading. I don't want to speak that into existence at all, because honestly, if the Rockies traded him, I would be furious.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side of that, he's going to turn 20. He's going to be 28 at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sign him for longer? I think if this track continues, if he plays similarly towards the end of the year, and he has a slot, if he's hitting like, let's just say 265, 270 by the end of the year, with what? I think 30 home runs is a pretty conservative-ish number at this point.
Yeah.
He has 8.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Do the Rockies sign him for an extension? Would that be a good thing for the Rockies? I think absolutely. And he's going to be 28, so you don't have to sign him to too long. But I would love to see a 3, 4, 5 year deal with Moniak if he continues playing as well as he is right now.
Yeah. So I'm looking at his spot track. So he has arbitration 3 next year, and then he's a free agent in 2028. So I know we just said don't speak it into existence. I have seen people talk about the Rockies trading him, and I know a lot of people I think are in that because they know that the Rockies are not going to be competitive this year. They're not going to be competitive next year, so it doesn't make much sense to keep him. In the same boat, this is my thought process. It's like, if you have a good player that's playing well, and I think he likes being here. He clearly has shown he likes the group of guys. He likes playing with the Rockies for the Rockies. To me, it's like, I don't see the logic in trading him. But yeah, well, I see the logic, because it's like, you want prospects, blah, blah, blah. Yes, refuel the farm system with the new regime. That's a good argument. So that's why I think it's a win-win. If you trade him, you could get prospects that this new front office is looking at, wanting it. I would be very sad. Like, I'm not saying that that's like ideal for everybody, but like that, there is wins in that. And then also, if you keep him, and if you therefore extended him, and I'm like you said, like, I think if you were to do it at the end of this year for 5 years, he would be 30, or he would be like 34 at the end of that, or 33 or 34. I think that would be totally fine. I'm sure you could get him for, I'm trying to think of what he would be willing to take.
15 a year. 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 5 year like $75 million.
Well, and that's the thing, is the Rockies always have this to go back on. It can't get worse than Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Rockies have survived so far with that contract. It cannot get worse than Chris.
I think that would be honestly one of the things that might prevent them from wanting to do that, though, is having Chris Bryant's contract on the books for another 2 years after this year, which is just insane. They have that handicap, which maybe the purchasing from the Broncos ownership group, maybe that could help them get rid of that. And if that's the case, then I see no problem with that. And like,
so what I've heard from different Rockies insiders is that the new ownership is simply there to take away debt. They're not there for payroll.
yeah,
But this does mean that those debts, like stadium renovations, this, that, and the other, just anything other than payroll, that's getting shifted from Monfort to them, so therefore it opens up some for Monfort.
yeah.
Now we're still in the brackets of the Monfort mind in terms of payroll, but this at least frees him up of other expenses to where maybe they won't be scared of that.
Yeah. Or maybe they could just buy out that contract. I would like that contract to just be gone.
To me, it's more of a debt than any stadium renovation they could ever do.
Because I don't know.
The stadium renovation might have some return on investment.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it Chris? It's literally just a black hole of money. Like you're not getting anything from it. So it's like, and like you have to pay him regardless, unless he medically retired, which I think he would be like thinking in his mind. I think that would be dumb of him because he's literally leaving money on the table for no reason. Even if he knows in his mind that he is not playing a baseball game ever again, he would just be leaving money on the table, and I don't think he would do that.
Yeah, he's not going to do that because if he were going to do that, he would have done it already.
Exactly.
Like he could not be more medically retired than now.
Exactly. I agree. So. But it's an interesting question, and as we get further in the year, I mean, more trade stuff's gonna be coming up, so it'll be interesting. And I mean, maybe the Rockies are at this rate, they're gonna have multiple trade pieces. I mean, one you could say arguably is Antonio Senzatella. Like if he could be a pretty decent trade piece. So, but another thing really quick that we want to talk about before we get into another unfortunate ranting session. I don't mean for this even though got like good vibes here, there is something else that kind of annoyed us. But really quickly, another just good thing talking about the Rockies is currently, as of, again, like the morning of, what is this, April 27th, the Rockies pitching staff currently has the highest cumulative wins above replacement or WAR, F-WAR, according to, or not F-WAR, B-WAR, Baseball Reference WAR, in the MLB, which is absolutely insane. The Rockies, who, everyone knows the pitching is always going to be worse here, and they are currently leading the league in WAR. Just absolutely insane.
Against great offenses,
yes, against good teams. We had to play the Astros in 6 games, who have the best offense in baseball. We have had to play the Padres, who have had very good games, are very good offense, and we've had to play them in 7 games? We had to play 4 games against the Dodgers.
Play the Dodgers.
Exactly. And yet we still have the highest cumulative WAR. And again, like, this has just been an Alone Leishman just masterclass video or podcast.
Sign him to a lifetime contract.
Give him free what are the new things that they got, the pizza donuts. Give him free pizza donuts for life, forever, and the unlimited $3 beers at the rooftop whenever he wants them. I
mean, we've seen this all season, so there's not really much to add. But yeah, really cool stat that I'm not sure, I'm going to be honest, if the Rockies have ever had since we've been alive.
Probably not this late in the season.
At any point in the season.
Especially not this late. And in all fairness, I do not expect this to continue. I do not expect them to lead the league in pitching WAR, because there's going to be rough patches, because that's how it always goes. But it's just a testament to how this team has changed the philosophy and everything, and it's just been really fun to watch.
And they've done this with many pitching injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
Many people going on the IL. Because we've had Quintana, Freeland, Feltner twice.
I don't think he didn't go on the first time, but he was out for a start. But now he is on the injury list, which I guess we can add, is that he is now put on the injury list. And Kyle Freeland and Quintana are coming. Like, Quintana already came back, and Freeland is coming back later this week.
So it's not like the Rockies have been perfect in health.
No.
A month through the season, they've already had 3 of their starting rotation for the year go on the IL at some point. So,
yep.
That shows depth, which is super important to a baseball team, as we know, because the Rockies lacked it for so long.
Exactly. Especially starting pitching depth. Like, they have nothing. So.
Yeah, and I think the structure of the starter and Dollander, the starter and Senzatella, which they've kind of moved away from, I think that's helped a ton, which I said before. I don't want to say it makes them bulletproof to starters getting hurt, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, it gives them...
Because they've been able to use Senzatella in the high-leverage late game instead of having to use him in the 2nd through 6th inning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, their philosophy and their way of dealing with pitching this year has worked, and I'm just hoping that it can continue, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. So,
can I open this last part?
Yeah. So last part, if Drew wants to take it away.
I need to look up this individual's name.
Okay. I saw a lot of people. I saw Blake Street Banner, the Twitter page. I saw them at him a few times.
Yep, that's exactly where
I was gonna say I saw them saying stuff.
They post a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you got to probably scroll a little bit, but really quick, I guess I will just preface and say, so probably a little confusing for anyone that doesn't know. So what we're about to talk about is something that's very, very annoying. It's that, so I think it's every Monday or every beginning of the week, a writer at the MLB will do a power rankings, which is just, ranking teams 1 through 30. And most of the time, it should take into consideration record, who you're playing, how well you're playing, all that stuff. And currently, the MLB writer, whoever did it, which Drew's finding.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, ranked the Rockies 30th in power rankings, which I do not agree with. To say the least, I do not agree with. And we're about to just get into it a little bit. But Drew, you can take it away a little bit.
Okay, Will Leitch. You are officially, I don't know how many cuss words we get. You are on my shit list. It's not like we're looking at this. It's not like this power rankings is just some nerd on Twitter or Reddit just being like, oh, this is what I think.
Yeah.
This is on the MLB network. This is the central hub for baseball news. And this moron put the Rockies 30. And even worse, with what we've talked about today, with some Rockies that are becoming stars this season, has got nothing to say, but Ethan Holiday hit a home run the other day over a bus, which was sick. But Ethan Holiday is in high A.
Low A. He is in low A.
He's in low A. He is in single A baseball. And that is the only thing this moron has to say about the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Dalton Rushing have the least research award for the year of 2026. It is just piss poor. This is the MLB network. These guys are supposed to be the experts on baseball and the MLB as a whole. In the lack of preparation, he probably wrote that paragraph 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If just pass it on to some other person that'll do the power rankings if you don't want to rank every team.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just sickening that the team that the Rockies just swept in embarrassing fashion, by the way, in New York. They weren't even at home. They were in New York. Are 7 spots in those power rankings ahead of the Rockies.
Yeah.
7. They're 23rd, and the Rockies are last. You are smoking crack if you think the Rockies are the worst team in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And I get it. The Rockies aren't a top 10 team. They may not even be a top half team right now. But to put them at 30 is sickening.
Yes.
And it just shows, and this is what I hate, is because the Rockies were bad, and they got pooed on all last year for being terrible. But now that they're not terrible, they're just kind of in that irrelevant category, which I disagree with because the Rockies have super exciting players this year as opposed to the last few years where they got pooed on. But it is just disgusting that this guy has a platform to where he posts the MLB power rankings on their website.
Mm-hmm.
This guy lives in Athens, Georgia, according to his Twitter, so that's not doxing anyone.
I was going to say, what?
If they win a single game against the Braves, I want this guy to know that the Rockies are not 30th of 30 teams. Like, that's probably the most frustrating thing. I think I'm more angry about this than Victor Vodnik getting shelled by the Padres in the ninth inning. I think this frustrates me more because the Rockies deserve at least a little bit of credit of how much they've improved over even the last 3 seasons. This is a massive improvement because in 2023, they started out 13-22, which this is still a 5-game increase, but that was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's ancient history in baseball. And the Rockies are just getting no credit. And it's not like the Rockies don't have any players that aren't playing well and the team's just getting lucky. Like we said before, Dollander is shoving. Senzatella is shoving. Troy Johnston's having a career year so far, who has had basically no major league time, and he was released by a team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we signed him because he was a free agent. He got released. And Mickey Moniak, who was once a first overall draft pick, who was considered a bust for 6 years in the MLB, is coming alive. And this nerd just has nothing to say about it. And my rant is almost over, but I can't wait because the Rockies do have a very loyal and loud Twitter fan base.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if this guy's hearing it. And we'll see next Monday when he drops the rankings to either move the Rockies up because 30th is just wrong. And I will admit when the Rockies are the worst team in baseball because they were all last year and most of the year before. Thank you, White Sox.
Yeah.
Or he at least mentions something about the major league roster. Like, it's not even like a guy in AAA. It's like, oh, look out for this guy who's going to come up this season. Like Charlie. It's about a guy we're not going to see for at least 2 more years.
Yeah.
And if he just demolishes every minor league affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my little rant. Yeah, Will Leitch, you're on my shit list. You're a loser, and you know nothing of what you're talking about. And please do your job and actually research all 30 teams and give your rankings some merit. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, honestly, for that. Yeah, I did notice a lot of Rockies Twitter, and not just, like I mentioned, Blake Street Banter, another Rockies podcast and article writing group. Not just them, but like Patrick Saunders, who is the Rockies like beat writer, like he's a beat writer for the Rockies for the Denver Post, mentioned saying like this is kind of insane that this is what he had to say. A lot of people that I'm seeing on Twitter and big in the Rockies news space are just like this. Like this is incredibly lazy to be just honest. It's incredibly lazy. And frustrating because as fans, it's like all we want is for our team to get some recognition. Like it was awesome seeing the Rockies, both Troy Johnson and Mickey Moniak, going on MLB Central the other day while they were in New York. That was really cool that they did like the big interview. They brought the home run jacket and stuff. Like I love seeing that. And it's just like, and I get it that it's like, oh, we're a smaller market team and we're not going to get that much coverage because we are not good. Like we're not a, star-studded superstar team that's doing super well or anything. But, like, it is very frustrating just not having any recognition at all for the accomplishments that the team is doing, because like we've talked about pretty much this entire episode, this is a completely different team. The vibes are different. They are playing so much better, and it's product on the field that's actually baseball and not whatever they were doing last year. And so it makes me it is very, very frustrating to see something like that at the beginning of the week. It's just like, okay, then you clearly don't care at all about smaller teams. And in all fairness, I bet he's not doing it just with the Rockies. I'm sure there are other teams that he's also not putting a lot of effort into researching and doing a lot of digging. And if he isn't, then that's just insane that he's just doing that for the Rockies. But
yeah,
it's whatever.
Yeah, and just something else to mention. This guy is a writer for the New York Magazine, the MLB, Washington Post, and the Athletic.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is just a random dude that the MLB Network was like, sure, go ahead. Like this guy has a lot of credentials, and it's gross that a writer just. I would put this on the level of me tweeting my power rankings on Twitter.
Yeah.
And both have the same amount of merit.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's a loser.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it really is worth getting much more into it than that. It's just like if he's not going to put in the work to do that, then it's whatever. Hopefully he'll learn, and hopefully he's hearing like the outcries from Twitter and everything from the news space being like, yo, like, you did not do a good job here. Please, next week, if he does do the power rankings every week, which I don't know if he does, but if he does, then hopefully he'll be able to actually put a little more thought and effort into the Rockies and not just, oh, they're the Rockies, throw them in at 30 just because. It's like, I'm looking at this post that this Twitter post from the DNVR Rockies page. Some stats, just what they gave for reasons or things that you could have said in that article. They currently have a better record than 9 other MLB teams, which is roughly 30% of the league. They have had the toughest schedule to start the season in baseball. They currently have their best numbers, most like slash line numbers and extra base hits through 27 games. They have the best numbers they've had since 2022. Their bullpen has been great. Their starting pitching has been solid. They've had 7 of the 14 games on the road have been one-run games, so they have played a lot of close road games, which, you know, as a Rockies fan, you know the road is where it's where they lose their money. Like, you make your money at home, but you lose that money on the road, and if they're playing these games close, then it shows that much more improvement. And they finish it off with, this team isn't a top 10 team by any means, but having them at 30 in the power rankings and not talking about anything current with the team in one paragraph you dedicate to them is lazy. And so I couldn't put it any further, like, better than that. And again, that was the DNVR Rockies page on Twitter posting that. And so, again, it's just been absolutely insane and just frustrating, honestly, that this is how just national media in general treats the Rockies, because it's just, oh, they're the Rockies, they're bad. Like that's pretty much the extent that we get. And it's just, it's annoying, but oh well. It's just how it goes. I didn't mean for this to just be a ranting thing, but
I haven't ranted in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So it was much needed.
Hey,
it was well warranted.
But here's the thing is, I guess I'd rather rant about, oh, people are not recognizing the good things that are happening with the Rockies than ranting about the Rockies. So, you know, I'll take that. Because, again, like we said, there have been, like, probably 4 or 5 bad losses this year, and that's it. Like, all the other ones, like, yes, they're annoying, and some of them are sad. Like, it's annoying that, like, oh, that 1-0 game was really annoying to watch, and, like, annoying that they lost. But, like, it's a close game, competitive baseball. That's all I'm asking. Again, we are not expecting this team to be a contender at all for probably another 2 years at least. So any steps of improvement is great. And that's just what we got to look for. And it's the little things that they're doing right now that's making it a lot of fun. And so, But yeah, sorry to end the episode on just a big rant session, but that's just how it goes. I think I'd rather end it that way than begin it, because then we'd just be all fired up for the whole episode. And it'd be kind of hard to reel us back in, honestly.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, I think if you've got nothing else, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode. I believe Matthew should be back next week. Oh, if you couldn't tell, Matthew was not here. I don't think I even mentioned that. Sorry, Matthew. It may have just slipped my mind. But yeah, he should be back next week. And hopefully we'll have, again, good things to talk about. Got 2 more tough series this week. Again, Reds and the Braves. But it should be good stuff. Kyle Freeland's coming back from the injured list, so it should be good stuff. But other than that, as always, go Rockies, and we will. And there we go. That's gotta be a new, like, once if we sweep anybody, that's gotta be be played.
Yeah,
yep.
That'll be it. Yep.
For sure. But as always, go Rockies, and we will catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye.